I'm Samantha Weller, and you are watching a Connect tutorial on how to set up your teacher website. So once you're logged in, you'll notice that your name will appear over the person, and that'll tell you that you're logged in. And once you do that, you'll see a pencil will emerge on the left side of your screen. When you hover over the pencil, it's going to open up your menu, and that's how you are going to edit and set up your site. Before we get started on that, I kind of want to give you a tour of my site so you can see some of the options and features that are available to you and some of the information that will be necessary for you to have on your teacher site. We use our teacher sites a lot to communicate class information to families on a consistent basis. And it's just really helpful to use. We don't really print out our blogs or email them as much. We mostly just post on our sites. So once you have your teacher site set up, you'll notice you'll have your profile information here, the title of your website here. You have an option to add some quick links, like to your newsletter files. I have my school site linked, as well as my school's calendar, so parents have that information at their fingertips. So if you link something or reference something in your blog post, they can easily get to that information. I have a pretty basic layout. Most people choose a 2-part or 3-part layout. This is a 2-part layout with a side navigation panel on the right. And my main area has my blog featured, and then the side panel has just basic contact information, my Scholastic reading code, the Mustang Way, our school and classroom rules, some online resources, our specialist schedule, and a file list for any of the important writing or math references that I do in my blog that I want to link to. They're all here and organized for me to use. Okay, so this is what your website can look like when you're done. So let's talk about what it looks like when you get it. When you get it, it's pretty blank. This is a practice website that I've set up that is pretty basic. For teachers in my building, I usually set it up with a blog, a group links, and a few other features that I think will be helpful for them. But if you don't have those already set up on your page, they're really easy to add. Okay, so once you're on your page and you're logged in, you can hover over the left side and that left pencil, and you're going to want to click Manage Group Theme, edit this page, and it gives you 2 windows of editing, adding widgets or changing your layout. You're going to click on your layout. And if you want it to be set up the way I have it set up, you would click on this layout. It has the top portion for a banner or a header, a main part for the blog, and then a right side navigational panel. Most people choose this one or the left side panel. Some people choose a 3-section layout as well. There's really no wrong or right way to do it. Just choose what you think will work best for communicating with your families. So go ahead and click on that, and then you're going to want to click Publish so it'll immediately apply that layout to what we're working with. After you do that, you can kind of see that it's immediately applied, so everything looks good, everything is in its right place. So we're going to come back to that side menu, but this time you're going to click on Widgets. And it has a list of everything that you can add to your site. Some of the most important things will be a blog post list, and that's going to go in this main section right here. So you can scroll down and find them, or you can just use the search bar, which is what I usually do. Kind of makes things quick, easy to find. Now, one thing you're going to really learn about Connect, and you're going to see it a lot in this tutorial, is that it has a lot of hiccups and bugs. It's not the most easy to use or intuitive website building program. You're going to kind of struggle with a little bit, and that's totally normal, so don't panic. If you ever get stuck or need help, I'm always just an email or phone call away. Okay, so we've added a blog post list. I want to have a title or a banner here, so that's perfect. Group links already came. Generic content widgets are really helpful for adding different information. I use them more often than any other widget. So let's add a few to the side as well. I'm going to need one for some contact information, maybe one for my class or school rules. Let's take a look at my site and see if there's any other ones we want to add that would be helpful. Ooh, a specialist schedule one would also be really important too. Okay, so we'll add one more generic content widget, really load it up on this side. Okay. All right, so the wheel or configure button is what you'll choose when you're wanting to edit that component. So let's start with the group title. And click change. And then highlight the text that's there and replace it with the text that you want. So you put your name, your class, whatever you want to use. And it should show up. Show the title on the page. Yes, that's important to click. And again, this is one of those hiccup things that Connect seems to be doing often. As soon as you're done clicking on something, it wants to drag it somewhere else. You just put it back where it was. There you go. That's perfect. Okay. Blog post list is already set up, so that's good. So let's focus on the side panels. Hit that configure button again, and this time we're going to create a contact information widget. Click change, highlight the whole thing. Contact information. Now in this text box you can do all sorts of things. You can hyperlink, you can add a picture or text. That's how my contact information is set up. It's really a picture. So it's really versatile using this specific widget. That way you can add whatever elements that you want to do. Add your phone number, your office number of course, email, so parents can get a hold of you, would probably be helpful. You have to click save to make sure that your changes are kept. And then again, as soon as you're done using it, it tries to move it. Just move it back where you want it. Slide it over. Okay, so contact information is done. School rules or classroom rules is the next component that you'll want to add. At Sunny Hills, we're the Mustangs, and our school rules are the Mustang way. Be respectful. Be responsible. And I misspelled that. Thank goodness for spell check. Right? Be engaged. I know I often find that I just type a little bit quickly and type over letters often, especially when I'm on my laptop. Okay, so I want my contact information at the top, so I'll just click on that and drag it below into the spot that I want it in. Okay, so I have contact information, I have school rules. Now I'm going to click on configure again, and this time I'm going to change the title because I need to add my specialist schedules so families can know what days their kids need to wear sneakers, what days they need to turn in library books. So Monday and Wednesday we have PE, Thursday and Friday we have music, Tuesday library. Perfect. Gonna scroll down, make sure I click that save button so my text will show up. Everything is in the right spot, looks good. Oh, that's hopped up, gotta put it back. Okay, adding group links. So there's a couple of different ways that you can add some links. There's some sites that are kind of embedded and you can do it that way. It really varies. I think having a media gallery is probably one of the best ways to display, or a generic widget is probably one of the best ways to display links unless you're doing a lot of internal links. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this widget. It's not really what I'm needing. And I'm going to come back to that left side panel where that pencil was, and I'm going to add a different generic widget. And you can kind of see with that group link one that the specific widgets are a little bit specific and don't allow a lot of personalization, and so that's why the generic widget is the best. Okay, so this will also give us a chance to show you how to hyperlink something. So let's say one of the links I want to have here is our school calendar. I'm going to add the text that I need, then I'm going to highlight it, click insert, and it gives you a couple options. You can insert an image or file, a poll, an emoji, but we want to do a hyperlink. So we're going to click link, and when we do that, it's going to give the text to display, and then you can enter your URL. So I'm going to click on my URL, copy it, paste it into here. I need to click OK first, and then, not done yet, now I need to click Save Below for it to save my changes. And once my changes are saved, then it'll show up. One of the things to kind of keep in mind with the widgets as you're setting up your site or even just updating things as you go, if a widget is left blank for too long, it'll kind of disable itself. And if you're having trouble changing something or adding something to a widget and it's just not working, it's not saving your work, go ahead and just delete it, go back to the search option, type it again and re-add it. It's the best way to kind of fix those little hiccups that Connect is known to have. Okay, so we have all your side panel is set up, we got a title going on, your blog post lists look good. Okay, now it's time to work on this top portion, your header. Okay, oh actually before we do that, I want to make sure that the website blog posts are working as well. So come back over here, we're going to click publish, make sure all of our changes are saved. Click off of this really quick. Okay, so you'll know if your blog is operating correctly because when you click on this new button, it'll have an option for you to post. So we have a post to announcements, that looks really good. That means everything is working well with our blog, so that's great. If you don't have that option, you would need to go into Manage Group and go to Applications and make sure that your blog is enabled. Okay, you just click on Enable. Alright, so this looks good for us here. This is our announcement page, and so we're going to want to save this link just to make sure that it's clicked in our header. It looks like it is, but I just want to double check. Again, with Connect, you kind of just have to be careful. So we click on our pencil, Manage Group Theme, edit this page. Now we're going to go back to the header, we're going to click on the Configure button. And once we do that, you're going to see it gives you a whole lot of different navigational items. If you're not using them, it just really helps to just delete them. Announcements we want for sure. The calendar one doesn't automatically link to your calendar, so you're going to just want to edit those and delete them anyway. We can add back whatever you want to have. So after you've deleted all the ones that you don't need, you can edit the ones that you do want to say what you want. So it defaults your blog to being called Announcements, but that doesn't really work for just our classroom terminology. So I'm going to click right here and I'm going to click on Custom URL. And I'm going to paste my blog link. And that's where you can call it newsletter or blog or however you want to name it for your class, and click Save. And now that's on there. I also want to add a couple of different links. Again, clicking on Custom URL and entering a label. We already have newsletter, but I want to link to my school site. So I'm going to copy my school site's link, enter it into the URL space, click Save. I'm going to add a link to my calendar that my school has. Just those popular things that I know my parents will want to have access to. Okay, and once that's done, again, I have to click the Save button down below. And then now my header is all set up. Okay, so I'm going to publish that to make sure all my changes are saved. And I'm going to click off on there. And the last thing that I want to do before I finish is, X that out, is actually add a blog post. So I'm going to click New, Post to Announcements. That's just my newsletter. And I'm going to type a welcome message to families. This will help my widget. This will help my widget to stay active and not be disabled. And this will just be a great way to welcome families. Okay, after I'm done writing a very lengthy and inspirational message to my families, I'm going to click Post. If I wanted to pause my writing and come back to it later when inspiration hit, I would click Save as Draft, but since I'm ready to post it, I feel very confident about how well that piece of writing was. I'm just going to click Post. And you can see now I'm in my blog page and everything looks good. I can do the quick link here and click back to my main site page, and yep, there's my blog post right here. Perfect. Okay, so this is just setting up a basic site, just a basic vehicle for you to communicate with families and get going on your site. Like I said, you can check out my other Connect tutorials to see how to customize it and add some style elements if this is a little plain for your liking. Alright, that's it. Thanks so much for watching.